Hello, I'm Rebecca Bardes, founder of Indiepreneur Academy, and this one is for the kings. So if you are a king or an aspiring king, an aspiring kingly man who wants to kick off the floppy shoes of clownery and pick up your crown, I am here to talk to you, my friend. So if you don't know who I am one of the dot-com pioneers from the 90s. I need to share a message with you that can help you with not just your business, but your relationships and your life and your sanity and your happiness, your joy, your purpose, your connection with the divine. So it's worth listening. So what I want to talk to you about is Bumble Junkies. Now, Bumble Junkies are a kind of bee, and they are part of my bee theory, my bee management system theory that I came up with when speaking to somebody who had a cluster bee disorder. And he was talking to me about how he could avoid hurting other people and himself, because he wanted to improve, he wanted to get better, and he wanted some tips or advice on how to do that. Now, I'm not a therapist. I just have dealt with a lot of people with cluster B personality disorders, and I've coached many celebrities and niche celebrities, and they have a tendency to be a little bit up there narcissistically in the world of ego. So I've got some kind of experience of this, like a few decades. So I just had this moment of realization, and it just came into my head. You've got a cluster B personality disorder. You have a cluster of bees. There is a cluster of bees, like a swarm, that you throw at other people or sometimes yourself when you get triggered to do so. And what you need to do is understand that there's you and then there's the bees, but you did create the bees. So you have to kind of integrate the bees eventually, but there's you and there's the bees. So when it feels like, well, I don't know what happened, I don't know what came over me, I just suddenly was somebody else, it was the bees. It was the bees. So you need to identify what kind of bees you're dealing with. And there are many kinds of bees, and I've got a whole system to help you with the kind of bees that you might have. So there's shadow bees, for instance, and they can come up from like your shadow self and things that have happened in the past. There's boundary bees, someone crosses your boundaries. But one that comes up a lot, and I want to talk about because I think the name is awesome, is Bumble Junkies. They are the addiction bees. They are the bees that will sabotage your happiness. They are the bees that stop you from doing what you should be doing because, hey, wouldn't it be fun if you went out and got wasted or took drugs or watched porn or just randomly hooked up with someone, and they just take you away from your purpose. But they look like fun. They look like they're just kind of, like bumblebees are kind of fun. They're kind of sweet and fun, and they're like, oh, life and soul of the party. Yeah, Bumble Junkies. So what I want you to do is, if you have any issues with addiction or compulsion or being flaky in relationships or whatever, and you're constantly looking for the next high, cheap dopamine hits, that kind of thing, just think, do I have any Bumble Junkies? And if so, can I hear their buzz? Because what you need to do to get over that is get really good at listening for the buzz of the bees and knowing what kind of bee you're dealing with. So what is the sound of the buzz of the Bumble Junkie, and what makes it come out, and what makes it go back to the hive and get bunches of other Bumble Junkies and just take you off into crazy worlds? What is it that makes that happen? And then how do you give ease to your bees? So what do you need to do to get those bees back in the hive? Because a swarm of bees is dangerous, and is not going to do anything good. But bees in a hive make sweet, sweet honey, and sometimes sweet, sweet money, because these things like egotism and narcissism, in fact, and cluster B personality disorders in general, but these tendencies, because everyone has these tendencies to a degree, they're positively correlated with success and fame. So if you are someone who's very driven and you want to do very well, you're probably dealing with some bees. So you need to identify, what is it that is going on with my bees, and how do I give my bees ease? Is it that I go into the gym? Is it that I go for a walk? Is it that I sit down and journal? Is it that I do some deep breathing exercises? What do I need to do to get them back in the hive so they're making me some sweet honey and not just causing problems for everybody else and me? So I hope you found that useful. If you would like to have a little peek at this bee management system and get an hour's free training on how to use it, chill.bumblejunkies.com will get you straight in there. I would just say this is for guys. I'm putting together a coaching course for guys, particularly guys who are high achievers and struggle with procrastination, addiction. Maybe you've done some bad stuff in the past or whatever. And those are the guys that I made this for. So if you are not a king, but you want to be coached by me, I do coach people who aren't kings. But at the moment, I am focusing mainly on helping guys, particularly guys in their 20s and 30s, because that is where a lot of problems are coming up at the moment, in terms of guys being able to identify their emotions, to have clarity around that, to be able to manage their emotions, regulate their emotions so that they don't turn to addiction and stuff like that. Because society really sucks at helping guys to identify even what they're feeling, or shames them for having any feelings, which is utterly ridiculous. And this, I believe, is why there is such a high suicide rate for men. It's way higher than for women. And I think we need to stop this. We need to, and if you're somebody who's like, no, men are the problem, what are you helping men? Well, people don't act out if they're happy. So think of the ways that you think that men are the problem. Look at something like toxic masculinity if you want. What is it? It's excessive aggression at other people, rage, not being able to control emotions, etc., etc. Do you not think it would be helpful for people who are falling into that to learn how to identify and control their emotions? I think it probably would. That would probably help everybody, right? So maybe the guys who are listening to this don't fall into that category, but maybe they know some guys who do. And maybe if they learn this, they can help those guys, and those guys will listen to them. And then everyone benefits, right? But as far as I'm concerned, I can totally see how men would fall into a bit of a maladaptive state around emotions if they've never been taught how to feel them or identify them or regulate them. So if we could just stop shaming guys for 2 seconds and stop yelling at them and stop telling them that they suck, and actually help them identify their emotions and then see their greatness in a true way, in a higher self way, not in just an egotistical way, I think that's going to help them, and I think it's going to help everybody. So that's what I wanted to share. You can hate on me for it if you want. It's probably better if you just get on with your day. If you don't like the message, toodles, there's plenty of other stuff you could look at. I hope you don't do that. And if you feel this knee-jerk reaction just to attack me because I want to help guys, ask yourself what's under that, because that will tell you something. Like, what is it that's under that makes me want to attack this person? Because maybe you've got some bees. So I'm just saying, learn to listen to the buzz. And maybe that will help you as well. Okay, well, thank you for listening. And yeah, this is weird being on camera again. I'm going to try and do it more often. I say that every time I get on camera and then I don't do it. But this time I'm going to try and be consistent. I really don't like being on camera. but I will be brave because I think this is good stuff. If this is good stuff, if you think, wow, that actually helps, that's really simple and straightforward, I could use that, or someone I know could make use of that, please leave a comment or share this or whatever, wherever I put it. Please leave a comment because that really helps me to know what helps. And I do want to help. Okay, thank you. Bye.